iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It is time for the Chicago Bears podcast preview. As I was going over the Bears yesterday, I noticed that this team might be a little bit better than I was thinking that they were. But let me put it to you this way. This is a team where nobody sucks, but only one guy is actually really good. But I look at him like, well, he's all right. He's okay. He's all right. He's okay. I mean, maybe all right. Yeah. But can you win in the NFL when you don't have true stars? I don't think so. And that's the problem. Is that you go to Baskin & Robbins and you order a lot of vanilla. You know what you get? Vanilla. No, I mean, you're just not going to win in the NFL when you play like that. So I give the Bears full credit for adding talent to the roster. I think they needed to inject some talent into this roster because they didn't have much. So it's certainly a better roster this offseason than it was last offseason. But I think they're playing with a coach who's going to get fired. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think that they are just biding their time. And they're biding their time with the ultimate placeholder, Mike Glennon. Mike Glennon will be their quarterback this year. I don't know whether Mike Glennon will be the quarterback anytime after this year. But this year, he's going to get, about $18 million. And that's what he's going to make. Okay? And he signed a 3-year, $45 million contract, and they're going to cut him. Right? They're going to cut him at the end of this year. I thought it was like $14 million, maybe $18 million. I don't know. Some million. Some crazy million. He's going to get that for 1 year. And then he's going to turn over the reins to Mitch Trubisky. So, I would say this. I don't think that Mitch Trubisky has any chance of starting this year. I think this is a Mike Glennon operation. And Mike Glennon will play as long as he can keep them in games. Now, if they're 0-8 and it looks really bad, then they're going to have to pull them out. But so long as they're competitive, so long as they're keeping them in games, so long as the Bears are keeping scores close, Mike Glennon should have a job. Now, I also look for this at Glennon as an opportunity. Why? Because, look, if he does well, maybe some other team will take a chance on him next year. It won't be the Bears. The Bears are going to move on. The Bears are going to go to Mitch Trubisky 100%. 1,000% they're going to Mitch Trubisky next year. But if Glennon looks good, then I see that it's a good chance that he could go elsewhere. Maybe the Browns, maybe the Jets. Who knows? Maybe a team that needs a quarterback, right? As for Mitch Trubisky, I'm not really a big fan. But I'll give you a but. He's got some size. I mean, he's 6'3". Supposedly he's got good arm strength. He has the look, right? He looks like a quarterback, but so does Blake Bortles, and what does I have you? My problem with Mitch Trubisky is this. I watch a lot of college football. A lot. You know why I never heard Mitch Trubisky's name until like last November? Because he wasn't the starter on his own team until a senior year. I mean, he was at University of North Carolina, not the hotbed for quarterbacks, mind you. And he couldn't even start there. Not like I've been hearing about this guy for 3-4 years. All of a sudden, it's like, the Jets are interested in Mitch Trubisky. I'm like, who? Who's Mitch Trubisky? And when I say that, that's not a good sign. That is not a good sign when I, who like college football and who watch it regularly, don't know who you are. That is not a good sign for your fantasy football future. It tells me your future might not be as bright as you think it is. Just saying, just throwing it out there for you. So If I'm in a dynasty league, yes, I like Mitch Trubisky. But outside of that, no thank you. Okay, the great player that the Bears have is Jordan Howard. Now, John Fox comes over from Carolina, and this guy was the king of running back by committee. The king of it. But, right, he had D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. They all mixed, match. And I think ideally he went into last year thinking that was going to happen until something happened. They drafted Jordan Howard, and he saw that it was good. Right? He saw that it was good. And not only good, he saw that it was great, and he said, let there be light, and let Jordan Howard be my main guy. I mean, that's how good Jordan Howard is. He's a battering ram. He is. He's a battering ram. He is hard to take down. He's a big, strong, fast running back. He's the perfect running back in Chicago in the weather. He's not going to get tired. You know, he's doing his job. The only problem, if there's a downside to Howard, is he's not blessed with great hands as a receiver. Now, I know he's been working on that. I know he wants to be part of that passing attack, and I get that. Every player does. Every player wants to be a three-down player. And I think they will give him a shot to be that player, but you got to have a better catch rate than, like 50-something%. It's just not going to work. So Howard, to me, is a mid-second round pick today, but he could drop a little bit to late second, or he could move up to first, depending on his role in the passing game. If they pull him out of the passing game, is he LeGarrette Blount? If they let him play more, though, he's LaShawn McCoy, right? So we have to watch where he's going to be. Don't go to your draft worrying about Jeremy Langford. That would be a bad life decision. I could care less about Jeremy Langford. He's not very good. Okay? He's not very good at all. I wouldn't worry about him. Okay? I wouldn't worry about him at all. He's a plotter, doesn't catch well, doesn't run well. I might be more worried about Benny Cunningham and Tyree Cohen. These are guys who can play in the NFL. Benny Cunningham has played in the NFL. Tyree Cohen has speed for the NFL. They could be the third down back easily. So Langford may have a spot on the team, but only as a backup if something should happen to Howard. Wide receiver, there are a lot of guys. There are a lot of guys at wide receiver for the Bears. Firstly is Kevin White. Okay? Firstly is Kevin White. And let me tell you something about Kevin White. Kevin White is a very, very, very fast man. Okay? He's a very fast man. And there's something to that. His quickness is very hard to keep up with, right? Because he's so fast. He was a first-round pick. He's so fast that defenses can't cover this guy. He stretches the field unlike anybody else that the Bears have. By White stretching the field with his speed, Cameron Meredith, Marcus Wheaton, Zach Miller, Deion Sims, they all can work underneath. So White is a real linchpin for this offense. If he can be healthy, which we've never seen, ever seen, if he can be healthy, he's an impact player. He had 36 targets in 4 games last year until he went out with an injury. Okay? That's a problem. Do I trust Kevin White? No, not as far as I can throw him. But I ask myself this question. In the 12th round, am I going to find a better receiver than Kevin White? Maybe not. So I am open-minded to drafting Kevin White. I'm open to it. I just don't know if I will end up doing it, but I'm open to it if he looks good in the preseason. The guy I was very impressed with last year was Marcus Wheaton. Cameron Meredith. I'll get to Marcus Wheaton. I was very impressed with Cameron Meredith last year. Cameron Meredith is a former quarterback who came in when Alshon Jeffrey was, suspended, and Kevin White barely played. In comes Cameron Meredith, week 5, 9 for 130 and a touchdown. Week 6, 11 for 113. Then he disappeared for the next couple of weeks, which was awful. Then against Tampa Bay, he has 1 catch for 50 yards. Then he kind of disappears until week 14, 6 for 72 and a touchdown, 9 for 104 in week 15, 9 for 135 and a touchdown in week 16. So we saw what Cameron Meredith can do. I really like Cameron Meredith. The question is for me now, can he get on the same page with Mike Glennon? Can he get on the same page with Mike Glennon? If he can, then he could be dangerous. Would I draft Meredith as a wide receiver 3? Probably not. But I do like him as a 4. I do like him as a 4 a lot. I mean, that's where I really want him. I want him as a 4, not as a 3. Getting back to Marcus Wheaton, I think we forget Marcus Wheaton was actually a decent receiver at one time. But look, he played on the same team with Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown and Heath Miller and Jesse James, and Ben loves a tight end. So he just wasn't the guy that Ben looked to. There were some games, though, where Marcus Wheaton played very well. Mostly in 2015, right? Not in 2016, but in 2015, Marcus Wheaton had 749 yards and 5 touchdowns. Ben went to him a decent amount. There are a couple of games that he was featured. So I think Wheaton was a very good pickup by the Bears. He doesn't suck. He just needs to create a rapport with the quarterback. Then they added Kendall Wright and Victor Cruz. I think one of these guys makes the team and one of these guys gets cut. You're bringing in 2 guys who have played well at other places. Kendall Wright for the Titans and Victor Cruz for the Giants. They both have done well, but they both have their warts. They're not as good as they once were. Victor Cruz has a problem holding onto the football. He can't stay healthy. Kendall Wright, has suffered over the last couple of years. So, look, they are very good guys as a 4th receiver on a real-life team, not your fantasy team, right? Ruben Randall's there. I don't know. I think you get a lot of veterans and you hope that a couple of them stick. And you hope that Kevin White and Cameron Meredith are the real deal. But you want guys like Wright and Cruz and Randall to be there during preseason and training camp to help these young receivers out. That's what you want. The most confusing spot for me for the Bears is tight end. Firstly, Zach Miller's a pretty good tight end. Zach Miller's a pretty good tight end. But what if I told you I think that he may be cut? I think he may be cut. He's 32 years old, and they're pretty deep at this position. They added Deion Sims for a 3-year, $10 million contract in the offseason. Okay? So, right there, Deion Sims has barely been used. Right? This is like Deion Sims is like a shirt that's been worn once. This guy's got some skills. He had 4 touchdowns last year for the Dolphins. He's a really big dude. He's like 6'4" or something like that. 250, 260, 270, whatever it takes. He's a big dude. And then they drafted the kid that I really like, Adam Shaheen. Adam Shaheen is one big boy. He's like 6'6", 280. But he can catch. And he was a former basketball player. And he played, a lower division, which NFL guys don't like. It's like Division 2. But you know what? When you're 6'6", 280 and you run as fast as he does, I could find some love for Adam Shaheen. Now, let me say this about Adam Shaheen. I don't think he's ready this year. But if he and Mitch Trubisky hang out together, become pals, and they become you're my guy, right? You're my guy. That's what they say to each other. Trubisky, Shaheen, they start hanging out. Maybe starting 2018, that's a dynamic duo there. And I absolutely see a Deion Sims, Adam Shaheen double tight end offense back in 2018, just not in 2017. But I want to get back to Zach Miller for a second. I believe Zach Miller will end up on some team. I think that he may get cut, but some team will pick Zach Miller up because he's a very, very good receiving tight end. We saw that last year. Now, I know he's dealing with a foot injury. I get that. And the Bears may cut him. But keep your eyes out for Zach Miller popping up. Why couldn't he be, the second tight end in Seattle? Right? Why couldn't he be the second tight end in Miami? These are possible things. I'm just throwing an idea out there. I would keep Zach Miller on my radar even if he gets cut. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, the kicker is Connor Barth. So let me talk about kickers. I want two things. I want a good offense, and I want a good home field. The Bears don't have a good offense, and I don't want this guy kicking in Soldier Field in the cold. That's just not good. That's not helping me at all. So Connor Barth will never be on my radar as a kicker. I don't care how good he is. Seriously. I don't care how good he is. And he's really not that good, by the way. Not that good for long distance. He's really not that good. So when you want to go for a kicker, that's my suggestion to you. Look for guys on good offensive teams and who play in domes, ideally, or at least in good weather. Because it's December, you're freezing your butt off. You can't feel your foot. You literally can't feel your foot. You think he's kicking any 50-yarders when you can't feel your foot? I don't think so. I really don't think so. But you know what I do think? I think you need to join scoutfantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO, that's ROTO. Pay for 1 month, get 2 more for free. Get access to Sean Childs' amazing team outlooks. He said he's working on his projections. You're going to want to read those. You get access to the mind of Adam Ronis, a man who has won so many expert leagues. You get access to me, Dr. Roto. I am in the message boards answering your questions. So is Adam, so is Sean. I'm doing my podcast. I'm doing my Fantasy in a Nutshell series. You know my daily Dr. Roto where I opine on things that you might not have even thought about. Right? That's what we try to do. We try to be different. Next, I want you to go to playffwc.com. Take a look at what we offer. A lot of drafts. We're drafting virtually every day between now and opening kickoff. So whether it's a starter league, an online championship, a world championship, come join us. We have the best payouts and great customer service. And if you want to make it out to the Palms Hotel this year, baby, let's draft in a suite together. Come be in the Beat Dr. Roto League. Come be in the Beat Adam Ronis League. Do an auction league. Do a main event. Do whatever you want. Come out to Las Vegas. Get it done. Have a great time with hundreds upon hundreds of other people who are drafting fantasy football teams just like you. All right, time now to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Back tomorrow with more for you. Have a great day. Be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!